salam sejahtera. Nama saya Mariam Mokhtar dan ini rakan baru saya, Jane Chelliah. Jane?
Hi! It's an absolute honor to be here with you, Mariam.
Thank you very much. Jane is from KL, or rather Old Klang Road.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. Now, Jane is famous in her own right. She is the first Malaysian to be a star on British reality television. Is that right?
That is right, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, before we start, I just want to ask Jane one thing. Jane, you are here voluntarily?
Absolutely.
I didn't coerce you,
No.
pull your fingernails out, twist your arm or anything like that?
Nope.
Yeah, you're here and you're quite happy
Absolutely.
to talk about being on British television
Yes.
and then for it to be published on Rebuilding
Yes.
Malaysia.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. So now we are going to start the interview about Jane and her role on British television. Ready, Jane?
Absolutely. Let's go. I came for your jam tarts, Mariam.
Okay. Oh my Raya.
You're legendary.
My Raya jam tarts. Anyway, Jane. Now, what does it feel like being the first Malaysian to be on British reality television?
It feels so huge. It feels so big, and it feels like such an honor as well. It's something that I never ever thought, imagined, At the start of the year, when you do your New Year resolutions,
Yeah.
nobody ever puts to be a British reality TV star. So when the offer came last year to be on this show, I thought, my whole ethos in life is to make a difference, right? I've always wanted to make a difference in any way. And here I was being given the chance as a Malaysian Indian to star in a show that they knew was going to be really popular and go global. And I thought, this is me finally being given the chance to make a difference. And the difference is to put across a message about porn, basically. So I'm Jane. I've lived in the UK, in London actually, for 38 years. I came here to study. I am now, I blog
Okay.
ferociously. Since the show, I've become an influencer, so
Oh, okay.
can you believe it, at my age?
That's quite good.
I'm wearing a watch that I've been given to model, and I blog I blog about race politics, feminism, parenting. I blog about Asian politics as well, and anything that sort of touches on everyday life, including well-being stuff, mental health stuff.
Okay. And you are close to the Malaysian community?
Fairly close. I think I was, as an expat, I was quite far removed from it because for a long time, the politics of Malaysia seemed very hostile. And then when the election was held last year, G14, I was alone in my home, and I was watching the results come through on my phone, and it just felt so momentous. So, and
you felt part of it.
I did, for the first time in a long time, I felt a part of it, and I wanted to take that feeling a bit further. So I advertised for any Malaysians who wanted to celebrate to meet me in a central London cafe.
Yeah.
And on the table I had Anwar's book, The Renaissance.
Oh, the Renaissance man. Okay,
Yeah, the Renaissance man, so people could see who I was, and they walked in and come to me. About 9 people turned up who were also looking to celebrate.
Yeah.
And that was my first foray into the Malaysian community in the UK.
Okay. Right. Now, we know a bit about you. You're a lawyer by training.
By training, yes.
And you've worked, you studied, you came to study, and
Yes.
then you stayed on to work.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, yeah.
Now, tell us, the film
Yes,
on British reality TV was
Yes.
about pornography,
yes,
and it's called Mums Make Porn.
yes.
Okay. Now, how did you find yourself making this porn film? How did it all start?
So they approached, my daughter is a very well-known blogger in the UK,
Okay.
and they wanted young people involved, so they approached my daughter.
She's a teenager?
She's a teenager, yes, she's 19. And they were looking for, they didn't know and I didn't know, they were looking for an Indian mum.
Okay.
But because my daughter is very white-skinned,
Okay.
they asked her if she wanted to be a part of it. And then they asked her about her mum. They said, you must have a very interesting mum. And she said, I mean, yes, I'm half mixed race and my mum is Indian. And the next day they were talking to me, and that's how I got onto the
show.
Yes.
She was part of a survey?
No, not a survey. They found her through her blog.
Oh, through her blog?
Yeah,
okay.
because she's a well-known blogger. Yeah.
Right. And she blogs about?
She blogs about politics, British politics.
Okay.
So they found her, and then through her they found me and asked me and auditioned me, and I was in.
How long did the whole thing take?
Oh, a few days.
A few days?
A few days.
Okay.
Moved very quickly.
Okay. Did you know the other mums?
No. So in the first episode, we are all shown, all the 5 mums are shown arriving at the house of one of the mums.
Okay, yes.
And she has to open the door to each of us. That was all completely genuine. Yeah.
All strangers.
Yeah, that's all genuine. People think it's set up and we knew each other. We didn't know. We didn't even know their names. We didn't know the names of each other, who we were, nothing. And there were 5 mums, 3 white English, 1 black mum, and me. So there's a diversity within the 5 mums.
And all of you got on well?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, and we still keep in touch as well.
Oh, that's
yes.
good. And when was this?
So all this started in August last year. Filming started in September.
Okay.
My filming finished in November because I left halfway through.
Okay.
But the filming carried on till December.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was shown in March. It was screened in March on British TV.
Okay. You're a lawyer. One of them, I think, is a beauty salon owner.
Yes.
Yeah. Another is a consultant.
Yes.
Yeah. And another is a portrait photographer.
Yes.
And another, I think the last one is a prop stylist.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah. And you still keep in touch?
Yes, to varying degrees. So, with any dynamic in a group,
yeah,
some of you will hit it off more than with some others. So I'm closest to the beauty salon owner and the fashion photographer, the 2 Sarahs.
Oh, okay. And they're not all from London, are they?
No, they're not.
All over?
Yes, the 3 of us are from London, and the 2 Sarahs whom I'm really close to, they're from the north of England.
Okay, and they all did this film, Mums Make Porn.
Yes, yes. We had so much fun. We had a great time.
Okay. Did you at any time feel manipulated by the producers? Because somebody must be...
Yes, no.
Okay.
I genuinely didn't. Everything that you see is completely genuine and authentic. Our reactions, when we were watching hardcore porn for the first time, some of us were shocked, including me. We didn't feel manipulated, no. And right at the start, the producers knew that I was uncomfortable with porn and the effect that it has on people and children.
Yeah. Now, feeling uncomfortable. You're Malaysian. You know what it's like. I know what it's like, being brought up in Malaysia. Things like this, sex is never mentioned.
That's right.
It's a taboo word.
Yes.
And I think pornography is illegal. I think you were telling me that
it is illegal in Malaysia, yes.
Yeah. And yet...
it has high usage.
Yeah. And the irony now is that porn is being used as gutter politics to bring people down.
Absolutely, yes. It is a paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
And lost in all this, I think, is the message that I was trying to get across in the show. Mm-hmm. How children can access it so easily on their phones.
And this is why you...
Yes, and this is why I wanted to do it.
Okay.
And it's happening in Malaysia. Children are accessing porn very easily on their phones.
That is true, yes.
They are suffering from mental health, and that's been proven, and there are Malaysian sociologists who have spoken about this, the effect on their mental health. Mental health problems in Malaysian children aged between 13 to 17 is on the rise, and part of it has been proven to be because of them watching porn as well. They're watching something that's actually having a negative effect on their brain, and it's the same in the UK too. And yet, what I find quite disturbing is two things actually. So it's that parents still find it hard to talk to their children about porn, about sex.
Are they aware that the children are accessing porn?
In the UK, no. So I've had loads of people stop me on the street and say, I didn't know. And part of the reason why I wanted to participate is because I myself had problems talking to my daughter about sex, because that's the way we were brought up in Malaysia. It's never mentioned, right?
That is true, yeah.
Yeah, it's like big taboo. And I carried that across. Here I've been in the UK for so long and I still found it hard. And I thought, if I do this, it'll actually teach me as well and help other parents to break this kind of big barrier that we have.
And to think that in Malaysia, because we've got all the main cultures and
Yes.
the main religions,
Yes.
and some of it's very conservative.
Yes.
And I believe that in the East Coast states, they have the highest usage of internet porn. I mean, it's quite...
It is where it's most religious, right?
Yeah.
Where religion is imposed strongly. What does that show you? To me, what that shows me is that sexuality cannot be suppressed. And it'll come out in some way. And the more suppressed it is, it comes out in a negative form, I think.
Yeah. You mentioned mental health issues
Yes.
with children.
Yes.
What about the women? Because they must be thinking that,
Yeah.
there must be expectations of them
Yes.
to perhaps perform like the porn stars.
This is one reason why I didn't. Why I also left halfway through, because porn absolutely degrades women. Right? Porn, the whole porn industry is a huge capitalist making machine. There are 13,000 porn films made every year.
13,000.
13,000 porn films made every year. So you can imagine that the market is worth trillions. And what it thrives on is more and more and more hardcore, right? Because the consumer brain is getting so used to a certain level, it needs more and more and more. And who are the people who are paying the price? It is women. Women are being degraded further and further. It's the objectification of women. And what we're doing is showing this rubbish to people, children, that this is how we conduct our sexual relations.
Yeah, because a lot of it is violent.
It is violent. 88% of porn films made are violent, are classed as violent. And I tell you something else that shocked me as well. The way Asian women are portrayed, Indian women, Chinese women, Japanese, Asian, I use that in the larger, wider term. We are made to look submissive, there to be really abused. The words used to describe Asian women in the porn industry, it's very, very demeaning. I saw this phrase, there to be taken. You know, this is how we're being portrayed. And I said to the porn producer, the TV producers, that I did not want an Asian woman to star in the film that they were going to go on to make.
Okay.
And they did respect my wishes. Not because I think Asian women are too good. It's because I didn't want to be a part of that objectification and degradation of Asian women. But having said that, there are a lot of Asian women who star in porn films.
Yes, there is,
Yeah.
So, was it a scripted reality show?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
Okay.
at all.
Yeah. And each of you had to write a script, produce a film, or was it a combined effort?
So I left by that time.
Okay, but when you had your values and you felt very uncomfortable and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Because as a mum, right,
Yeah.
whether we like it or not, as mothers we bear moral responsibility.
Yeah.
And when I did so much research, after each day of filming, I'd go back and I'd do hours and hours of research. And it was really apparent to me the negative effects, right? And I thought, as a mother, I'm going to, yes, the film that the mothers went on to make is actually fine. It's consensual, it's ethical. But it's still part of the porn industry.
Yeah.
It's a small bit in a large porn industry.
Yeah.
And I thought, I do not want to be a part of that. I don't want to be known as a
So
porn
you-
producer. Because people are being sold a lie.
Yeah.
I was on a porn set where I was as close as from here to like a bit further away from you, and I
Yeah.
saw it being filmed, right?
Yeah.
The amount of stop and start that's involved. But when you as a consumer are sitting at home watching it, you think, wow, why can't I be like that? Why can't I look like that? Why can't I, perform like that? And you're being fed a lie, which you're buying. The porn industry is the three-pronged model, right? The camera, ownership of the camera.
Yeah.
The actors in it, the consumers. I, on my own, would not want to take down $1 trillion industry.
Yeah.
Actors, consumers. What I wanted to do was to make people think about what they're watching, right? So there was one hardcore that we watched where there was a depiction of a student, a girl, seducing the teacher, right? That is wrong on every level. Even if the actress is older, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the consumer is being fed this whole schoolgirl
Fantasy,
trope. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at the amount of child abductions in Malaysia. Look at how much, I was reading, right, and UNICEF Malaysia's advice is please do not share child abuse images, which leads me to think that it must be quite prevalent, right?
For them to say
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
to give out that
Yeah.
warning. Yeah.
So what I want to do is make people think. And even if a grown woman looks consensual, how do you know she wasn't trafficked? That's another big problem in Malaysia and in the UK too.
Yeah. You pulled out of the film because
Yeah.
of your cultural and
Religious, yes.
background, yeah? Can you expand a bit more about this?
It reached a stage in filming where I started to get very uncomfortable and very conflicted about going on to make a porn film.
Yeah.
You see, porn is always packaged as fun, fantasy,
Yes.
no harm. And what I was seeing was just the opposite, and the research was backing it up. And I thought, both as a mother, as a religious person, what kind of responsibility would I be demonstrating to myself, never mind other people, to myself, if I went on to make a film, and no matter how vanilla, the film is, it's still part of the porn industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say, oh, the film Jane made was fine. There will be no distinction. The only way people cut up the porn industry is violent, non-violent, boring, not boring. Boring is the sort of stuff that people do in their own lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting is the really hardcore stuff. That's how people cut up the porn industry. That's how they view it.
Now, the film that was made, Mums Make Porn.
Yes.
Now, how was it perceived by the public, by the general public?
It's been seen as being both successful and quite boring. And this is interesting because a lot of people who found it boring, again, think that it's boring because it doesn't have hardcore elements in it. And the ones who like it are the ones who believe that sex should be about consent, mutual respect, mutual pleasure, relationships, intimacy. You know Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Physiological needs is right at the base of the pyramid, right?
Yeah.
The porn industry separates what it does away from all that. So the movie that was made is basically about carrying warmth, feeling love, feeling wanted.
Okay. So you would say that those are the positive
Yes.
outcomes of your film?
Yes, it shows. Yes, so it shows It shows the way sex ought to be. But more, I think also equally important, it has helped so many parents break the barriers about how to talk to their children about sex. I've had women stop me on the street crying because they have been made to feel like freaks all their life for not liking porn. And when they saw me stand up, it made them feel empowered.
Yeah.
And I've had mothers stop me to say, I've had that conversation with my child. I had once had a mother run down the road just to stop me and ask me questions. I had a father, I went to a protest for Trump's visit when he was in London. I had this father come up to me and say, thank you. I didn't know how bad, how prevalent porn is accessible on mobile phones.
Now that is the British public. Have you had any Malaysians contact you? Can they view it online? Do you know?
If they live in Britain, they can view it online on Channel 4. Yes, they can.
What about your friends and family who are in Malaysia? Have they heard about?
They've only heard because of, I think of me posting things and the publicity from that. They can't watch it. Interestingly, quite a few Malaysians have said to me, why didn't you make the porn film? Like, what is wrong with you? And there again is the shock to me, because I thought a lot of Asians would say to me, why were you even in it as a mother? But no, it's the opposite. It's, why didn't you make a porn film? What's wrong with you?
Really,
it did. Yeah, it did. And what it shows me, I think, is how the internet has shifted the morality of what we see and do.
And in a way, desensitized.
Yes. Yeah. Because I remember when I was growing up, you couldn't even mention the word boyfriend. You thought I was going to say sex?
Sex.
Boyfriend. Kissing.
Even things like periods.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mothers never told their daughters.
No.
It was your biology teacher who told you.
Yes.
Even then, she would like be blushing, right?
Absolutely. And this is the stupidity that I had with my own daughter. And I think the first thing, if there's anything that I would like to bring to Malaysian parents, right, is please try and overcome your denial, and please try and hold conversations with your children about sex, and then shift the conversation onto porn.
So in other words, you think Malaysians could benefit from a show like this?
Definitely. Definitely. It doesn't even have to go as far as making a porn film. Don't even have to do that.
Well, in schools, we do not have sex education because people are still thinking, both parents and teachers think that having sex education classes is an invitation to have free sex.
Yeah, that's right.
We've got that barrier first to overcome before we can even do a film like yours to educate people.
Absolutely. Children are learning about sex from watching porn, while parents are going about their work thinking, oh no, they're too young. They are. The internet industry has taken your role as a parent and is teaching your child about sex.
The wrong things.
Yeah, in both the Western and the Eastern world.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't just begin at home. And this is something that I've said even in the UK. It takes other authorities as well. So you need like age verification. And this is where the state can play a role. Age verification, parental controls, Societal conversation. Don't put all the burden on the parents, because sometimes...
And I think we need to talk about this more.
Yeah, definitely. It's a societal burden.
The rights and the wrongs, or more the wrongs. You said Malaysians can't watch it online.
Yes.
They can't, yeah?
No, they can't, unfortunately. Other countries have bought it, but they're all Western countries.
Okay, but they can at least go to your blog to find out.
Yes, there's a trailer.
What's your blog called again?
Ambitious Mamas.
Okay.
mamas.co.uk.
Okay, so if they wanted to find out more,
yes,
they could contact you through there, but look at your blog.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the irony is that as we speak, and when you've made your film, Mum's Made Porn, Malaysia is being hit by gutter politics.
Yes.
Involving pornography.
Yes.
Between men.
Yes.
What do you think of this gutter politics? back home?
I think, do you know what? I think the use of porn videos in Malaysian politics is wrong on 3 levels. Okay, firstly, they're porn videos, right? And in themselves, it's legitimizing porn, because you're bringing it into mainstream, and everybody's watching porn.
Yeah.
But they're not thinking porn. They're thinking, oh, look at this, what this minister's doing. So it's desensitizing porn. It's revenge porn.
Yeah, it's bringing somebody down.
Yeah. Revenge porn. It's an offense in Britain.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if it is, but in the last 2 or 3 years, it has become a crime to do revenge porn. It's very hostile, and that is not the way to combine democracy with a politician whom you don't like. There's other avenues, right? And also, if you look at it, what is the common thread in all these porn videos? It's trampling on minority rights, so gay people, women. Years ago, we had a Chinese female politician, right, who was caught up in a sex video scandal.
Chinese politician,
Yeah. So it's trampling on, trampling on minority rights, women, gay people. So it's presenting like gay people in a very twisted way. It's as if all the elements brought together to sort of take down on a number of levels.
And also, we are being distracted. There are more important issues. It always comes up at a critical point in somebody's life.
Yes. That's why we need people like you to keep people on the
right track.
On the right track. I tell you what it is that you do, right? You introduce cultural intelligence.
Oh, thank you.
No, you do.
I want people to think, why are we doing this? Why shouldn't we do that? Think about our actions.
Absolutely.
A bit like you making the
to make people think.
To make people think. Why is it wrong? How does it affect us? The consequences.
Because there has to be challenge. If you don't have challenge, what is it? It's sheep society.
Control, what you were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Obedience.
Yeah.
I remember when I was growing up in Malaysia, the whole culture and ethos was one of obedience. You obey your elders, you obey your politicians, your teachers,
community leaders.
Yeah, the doctor, everything the doctor says is correct.
Yeah, even though that you're wondering, why am I taking so many pills?
Yeah, it was, right? I think it's only in recent years, like your people like yourself, Bersih, Malaysian Bar Council.
Yeah.
You've introduced critical thinking. That's what we like. Critical thinking and cultural intelligence.
Yes.
That's what we need as Malaysians.
Yeah. Now, at the weekend, you and about 500 other Malaysians went to the Malaysian High Commissioner's house in Hampstead in London.
Yes.
To have open house for Hari Raya.
Yes.
Yeah, and you queued up for makan and everything there.
I love Malaysian food. Yes.
But I think they ran out of food, right?
They did run out of food. They did. I was so disappointed.
Anyway, you met, one of the highlights was you met the youth minister.
Yes, Syed Saddiq. Yes.
And I think you said to him, I am the first Malaysian to be featured as on British reality TV.
Yes.
And he said, hand to his heart.
Thank you.
For flying the Malaysian flag.
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you this $1 million question. Was he aware that you were making pornography?
Do you know? He didn't ask me. Maybe he
thought
he didn't ask. Maybe he thought it was going to be like Love Island or something like that.
Or maybe
he was
thought
scared.
it was an intellectual program. The physicist or critical thinking.
Or cookery.
What do you think his reaction would be?
I was actually hoping that he would have asked me, because he had, a day or two before that, made a comment about the sex video that's currently in circulation in Malaysia.
KL.
Yeah, in KL, yeah. But he didn't. He didn't. But I was hoping to provoke a conversation, but he didn't. He was very nice, and he just said, "Thank you so much."
Yeah, but it's ironic.
It is
And
very
it is-
ironic.
And
Yeah.
it is like almost funny.
Yes, it is.
I mean, when he finds out that it was about a film about porn, what do you think his reaction will be?
I think given that he's now trying to raise issues about mental health in
Okay.
children.
So you hope he takes it up
Yeah,
positively.
yeah. And so he should as well.
Yeah.
Because the studies being done in Malaysia on the negative effect of porn on children's mental health. And he recently has spoken about it. And another thing I'd tell you that he has said is how the stigma about mental health in Malaysia, how he wants it removed. Do you know there's a stigma attached to the children who are abused in Malaysia? Can you believe it?
Yes, because I work quite a bit with communities like that who have been stigmatized by sexual abuse or abuse of any sort.
That is really sad and wrong. That's what I mean by cultural and emotional intelligence. We need that.
Yeah, but if we could expand on this a bit, women, children, they're almost like second-class citizens. At
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
And if you've had a abuse of some sort, people keep you away. You know how you have disabled members of the family, and now they lock you up, and
yes,
the people don't know about them.
Yes,
We've got to get rid of that, right?
absolutely. But, you know, in Britain now that's being tackled, right? And this is what we need to do in Malaysia as well. So I know UNICEF is working to find solutions, but it starts with people's mentality, right? If you just stop and think, why are you stigmatizing them? But another problem is the concept of citizenship, right?
Yeah.
In Malaysia. In my opinion, we have like 3 tiers of citizenship. I'm not talking about actual passport. I'm talking about, you know, the social policy world expert T.H. Marshall. He defined, I'm putting it loosely, but he defined citizenship as the ability to participate fully in social rights, political rights, cultural rights, right? So if you take that meaning and you look at what's happening in Malaysia, in my opinion, would say there's 3 tiers. So there's the dominant, there's the second one, which is the Malays, which is the Indians, the Chinese. And then there's the third tier, which is the Orang Asli, people who are not viewed as being worthy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we will have more talks and chats about that to address those issues.
Absolutely.
Open people's minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're just on a course of destruction. You cannot be Malaysian Boleh, you cannot be Malaysia Baru. You can't.
Yeah, and there's no point being a first world democracy when we are stuck in thinking of the Middle Ages.
Yes.
Child marriages, for instance.
Yes.
And then religion.
Yes.
Not
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And in the UK, the Christian religion is quite guilty of doing similar as well, you know, to kind of like suppressing women's sexual identities. And, you know, when I say sexual identity, I don't mean like the actual porn or sex. I mean even dressing up, right? Women should be allowed to dress, you know, the way they want to. Don't stigmatize a woman if she has a short skirt, if she's wearing shorts. Do you know? Value, that's sexual identity. It's a holistic.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much
No,
for all
thank
your views.
you.
I hope you enjoyed your
I
experience.
absolutely loved it. And
Yeah.
you are a star, Mariam. You are. And it's such a pleasure and privilege to have been interviewed.
But
by
tell
you.
me, one last question about mums make porn.
Yes.
What did you think of your experience? Do you regret not going the whole, you know, the full course?
Do you know, okay, so when I left,
Yes.
it was 5 months till it was screened on British TV.
Okay.
Every day I woke up thinking, I am going to be a national laughing stock when they screen this. People are going to laugh at me every day because I pulled out and because I was the one who was very hesitant throughout. And then when it was, but I never once regretted pulling out. And that's how I knew that I wanted to make a difference, and I knew that I had done that and I could sit with my conscience easily. And then when it was screened, oh my gosh, it was like boom, suddenly so big it became. I was being stopped everywhere, and being recognized is fun, but the real thing is to just make people stop and think, and that is my message.
And also, you stood up for your principles,
yes,
your moral values, and your cultural and religious background.
Yes, that's
because
right.
Because that was uppermost.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And I felt that I didn't need to make a film to make a difference. By leaving halfway, I could, and I did make a difference. And I think that's also important to recognize as women, you know.
Yeah, you made a stand.
Yeah.
An important one.
Feel empowered as a woman.
Yeah.
Know when your time has come to just make a stand. And I can't believe at the age of 56, I was finally given the chance to do something really big. And I'm really grateful. And I was proud to say in episode 1, I am a Malaysian.
Good for you. Yeah. So anyway, I'll show my face. So, if you want to know more about Jane's film, Mums Make Porn, just go to her blog.
Ambitious Mamas, MAMAS, ambitiousmamas.co.uk, and Chelliah is spelled CHELLIAH.
Yes. And so thank you very much for watching us, and we hope to bring you more talks about Malaysian stuff in the future. But before we go, there is one person I'd like to say hello to, and he lives in Kulim. What's his name?
My Kulim Mama, who is a great supporter of you.
Hello, Uncle, from the two of us, and bye-bye. Bye.